Hey everyone, I'm Jay.
And I'm Sean.
And this is Fudgy. And we watched a movie.
Did Fudgy watch the movie?
He did.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it has flying squirrels in it, so you might say this is a particularly dog-friendly or dog-unfriendly, depending on your dog, movie. So, Flora and Ulysses is new, streaming to Disney Plus this weekend. It's a really great family and dog movie, thank you, Fudgy, about a little girl who loves superheroes, even though she's a cynic. She's very little to already identify as a cynic, I feel, but she's very precocious. And the origin story for Ulysses, the super squirrel. Whew, boy oh boy. So yeah, you know, if your family is feeling a dearth of superhero stuff, or perhaps your kids are too young to be watching WandaVision with you, this is going to be kind of a nice stopgap, I think.
Sure.
What do you think, Fudge? You're a fan? Yeah, you are. I know.
He would chase that squirrel.
He would. He would
Catch
destroy that squirrel. Sorry, Ulysses. Fudgy is on the case. Yes, I know. Thank you. So, okay, Flora, played by Matilda Lawler, a super cute little kid. She is definitely a self-identified cynic. She hopes for the best, but she definitely prepares for the worst. She is constantly reading disaster preparedness material.
And it's a good thing she does.
Sure, they are about to get into some scrapes. Yeah, first she's going to meet a squirrel who she names Ulysses. And I wonder if this squirrel was special even before she met the squirrel. But she met the squirrel when he gets swallowed up by like a robot vacuum cleaner. And somehow, after his death experience brought back to life, he's got superpowers.
It's an origin story.
That's right. Whew. So, but I just wondered, because he also writes poetry.
He does.
Which I don't know if that is a superpower, or if he was just a very eloquent squirrel and he just couldn't type before. It's hard to know.
It is. It's ambiguous.
Yeah, it is. We only know him after the accident where he can communicate.
That's right.
Before, he's fairly unknowable, although we do know that he loves nuts. But that's all we really know.
And it's not a super defining characteristic.
It's not. But anyways, so Ulysses moves in with Flora so she can nurse him back to health. Of course, we quickly discover that he's got these powers, so he's not really in need of much healing.
Now he's ready to go.
He's woken up better than ever. Except Flora's mom may not agree. So Mom Phyllis is played by Alyson Hannigan. She's a romance novelist who's kind of been down on her luck and down in the dumps a little bit lately. Because number one, writing the new novel is not going well. She's been in a bit of a slump. But number two, she and her husband have recently separated. So George is the dad, played by Ben Schwartz. And, he's a good guy, but he is a comic book writer. So Flora has grown up amongst superheroes on the page, is very disappointed they don't exist in real life. Perhaps part of the root of her cynicism now. But the general public does not love these superheroes as much as Flora did. They've never sold. So
the general public never got the chance.
Well, okay, fair enough. The publishers won't even let him through the door.
Yeah.
So George is even more down on his luck than his wife. He's depressed. He just has no self-confidence. So he has moved out of the house and is working at basically an Office Depot or a Staples or, whatever
it's
generic
called.
office supply store. Not writing his comic books anymore. Even though his daughter Flora is so impressed with these things, she sees his superheroes everywhere. Incandesto is her favorite. But they really like come to life for her, and she just wishes she lived in that world, but she doesn't.
Or does
until now. Until Ulysses bites the dust and comes back as a super squirrel. It's gotta keep up with it. So little Flora and a little boy who moves in temporarily next door named William, please call him William, played by Benjamin Ainsworth, who has temporary hysterical blindness. He is going to be the sidekick in this adventure. An adventure that, Mom, like I said, not happy to have a squirrel in the house. Dad, I guess because he likes the ideas of superheroes, is a little more amenable to this whole thing. He's a little more accepting, believing that this squirrel could have superpowers. Because the squirrel, Ulysses does not show them off.
No.
So a lot of what he does looks a lot like destruction.
Yeah.
Just like any squirrel would probably make your house look.
Don't bring a squirrel in your house, kids.
No. Brady and Jack, we're looking at you.
Absolutely.
Thank goodness it's winter, but still.
Still, they're going to be putting the trail of nuts into their house.
That's true.
I can see it.
Well, of course you can. I can't even remember which movie this was, but the last time they decided they wanted to get a bunny in the house, they left a trail of lettuce up until their bedrooms. And it almost worked. So, anyways, Ulysses' bad luck here is that, again, squirrels who can semi-fly and they're strong, they're fast, stronger than usual, faster than usual, gets into more trouble than usual, particularly because this little girl does bring him into houses and diners, workplaces.
Everywhere, yeah.
Yeah. So animal control gets wind of this squirrel, and they apparently have to assume the squirrel has rabies, and so they have to put him down. And so the evil animal control guy, Miller, played by Danny Pudi, is now in hot pursuit, tranquilizing the heck out of anything that comes between him and this squirrel.
Oh,
he's a bad shot.
Yeah.
They need to take that gun away from this guy because a lot of humans go down.
Yeah.
A weird amount of humans. I have to say, I really kind of thought this movie was endearing.
It's cute.
It was very sweet. It's cute, yes. I mean, it's meant for kids, but parents won't hate it.
No, I thought Ben Schwartz was good. Like, he's a funny guy, obviously, if you've seen his other stuff. But he did well in this role of just being a bit of a goof.
He's that dad.
He is that dad.
We know a few of those.
Yeah, and Alyson Hannigan is a convincing mom, which is kind of sad.
Stick in the mud mom.
Yeah.
Well, is it kind of sad?
I don't know.
Okay.
It makes me feel old.
Well, you are old.
Yeah. So
I know, it
reasonable.
does feel like amazing to us that people our age can have kids. Even though, of course, all of our siblings have children. Like, there's nothing amazing. We're definitely old enough. We just have dogs instead of small children.
Yep.
Some of us are old enough to have adult children, practically. So
It's true.
Biologically, I'm sorry to tell you.
I could have grandkids.
Okay. Let's not get too crazy here.
Okay.
So this movie is based on a novel called Flora and Ulysses, The Illuminated Adventures by DiCamillo.
So they cut out some of that title in the translation.
It's a big title.
I think that's okay.
I think we can live with this. Director Lena comes on board and I think does a great job. I mean, the book is, partially written, partially comic book panels or just pencil drawings. It's sort of a mixed media, fun little read-along. And I think Lena does do a really good job of bringing this...
It feels comic booky. Yeah, it does.
Yes.
There's some animation in this as well.
That's right. And it also references... This little girl is pretty well-versed in comic books. Not just the ones her dad writes. She seems to be a Marvel fan.
Except that there is a Green Lantern comic on display. I can't believe that got through the censors at Disney+.
Fair enough.
But yes, otherwise she does mention like Silver Surfer and Wolverine.
She's got Batman too, though.
Does she?
She does.
Okay.
I wouldn't lie about that, John.
Well, if they're not really.
But not all. We have a little nephew, Jack, who adores Marvel. But now he feels too guilty to watch anything DC because he feels like he's cheating on Marvel if he does.
Yeah, he's very indoctrinated.
So, yes. I wonder who is responsible for that.
No, it's not me. I swear, I didn't do it. I've left it open to decide where your comic book allegiances lie.
Oh, how very generous of you.
Yeah.
Well, I liked this movie. I mean, it's not like...
No, it's just a sweet little movie that you find on Disney Plus and everyone will enjoy.
Yes, and it's nice to have something like this to share with the whole family. A lot of places are very cold and buried under snow now. More than usual.
Yeah, that's true.
The news tells us.
Sorry, Texas.
Sorry. Of course, you are probably not watching Disney Plus since you have rolling blackouts still. Sorry about that too.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
That's rough. I mean, it's much colder here, but we're prepared for it.
Yeah, that's the big difference. Our houses are insulated. Our power grid is like winterproof. So,
I mean, we still have shutdowns sometimes. So we feel your pain. We feel bad for you.
Yeah.
We'll watch this movie for you.
Yeah.
And we'll tell you about it later. Flora and Ulysses. I wonder, I was surprised the squirrel didn't say, Ulysses.
Yeah.
Please, call me Squirtle.
I guess he liked it.
I guess he didn't mind it.
It's classy.
I think it was after the vacuum cleaner, too.
That's correct.
Perhaps he's lucky that it was not a Roomba.
Yeah.
Also lucky, I think, is that they don't have a dog. Because just imagine if you tried to adopt a squirrel.
Oh, it would be a disaster.
It would be
a squirrel doing damage and 4 dogs chasing after it doing 4 times as much damage.
Yes, and we only really need 1 dog on the case. Our littlest guy, Fudgy is not our littlest guy. We have a little baby doggy, a miniature dachshund named Walt. And he is a destructor. He is chewing his way through every single thing. We just bought him a new chew guard toy
it's supposed
for
to be
aggressive chewers.
Dog proof.
And it lasted less than an hour.
Yeah.
The dinosaur now has no tail and no front paw.
Walt ate it.
That's the worst part is he does eat the toys. So imagine what he would do to the squirrel.
Yeah. Well,
in fact, imagine what might happen in our backyard next summer.
It's already happened.
We might need to, well, that was, first of all, not a squirrel.
No.
And Walt was not alive yet, so don't blame precious little Walt for the other dogs' vicious attack on a sweet, innocent bird. It could be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So they're lucky they didn't have a family dog. Oh boy. Unlucky. But lucky for Ulysses, yes. Unlucky that Miller, the animal control guy, is really tenacious. And I mean, lucky for the movie because that's the whole point. Like, the squirrel does not really need to do a lot of super heroics.
No, it doesn't.
It's not really a superhero movie. It's just evading animal control, basically. And then in that fray, some pretty serious stuff goes down, and the squirrel can happily step in. But I mean, if the squirrel hadn't have been there in the first place, nobody would have needed saving.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a whole superhero plot in these movies.
Yes.
It's just, would there be any bad guys if the superheroes didn't escalate the situation?
Well, I guess we'll have to see if there's a number 2. You know, did this all just get nice and sorted out and Ulysses is going to back off now? Or is there going to be like a super evil chipmunk in number 2? We don't know.
Well, I think the evil would be the animal control coming back for revenge.
Oh, I thought we already defeated that villain.
Well, I mean, yes, but the stakes are going to get raised. Maybe animal control will create their
join
own
forces with an evil chipmunk.
Something, yeah.
Oh,
Could go a lot of
you
ways.
want to rain on my parade, don't you? This guy. Anyways, I would say check it out. I thought it was quite endearing and charming.
Well, there you go. Check it out.
Check it out on Disney Plus. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
Bye.